Hello, and what is up, ADHD gang? Hi guys. Oh, hold on, hold on. I'm going. I have been. I got the. If you guys have been on my social media as of recently, I got the sore throat virus curse. Um, yeah, we're we're thriving. So I don't have near the energy or the time basically because I'm trying to rest up as much as possible because I have a bunch of other issues that also occurred at the same time. So for today's video, I'm gonna be talking I'm gonna be talking about auditions. And there's gonna be a little bit of change to my kind of social media and like the type of media that I'm putting out, so I'm gonna talk about that. But I want to talk about color guard and auditions and different things and little like tips and tricks and stuff like that for you guys. And you're gonna kind of notice a theme here. So let's get into it. Okay, guys. So I talked about a change with my social media. It's not gonna be a massive change, but I'm going to try to get into and start posting some kind of more instructional tutorial type videos. There are a lot of things that I know how to do, that I've learned how to do, that I feel would be very helpful for a lot of you guys, especially a lot of you that are just kind of getting into guard or looking to get into higher levels of indoor or even drum corps. And I have quite a bit of knowledge from auditioning for world class, for both indoor and drum corps, to performing open class and now all age for the past 2 years, and also doing A class indoor as well. So I have a wide variety of experience. But I'm gonna post some tutorial videos. I'm gonna attempt to do it once a week. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know when it's exactly gonna start yet because I have a bunch of other stuff other than this sore throat going on right now. So I am resting. I am recovering. I have not been working out for this whole entire week. So next week I'm going to slowly start getting into maybe smaller workouts and actually getting into stretching and getting stuff done, because I actually have to go to PT next week. By the time this comes out, I'll be going to PT. So yeah, let's get into some of my favorite tips and tricks for virtual auditions and online auditions. Okay guys, so like I have discussed, I have done virtual auditions basically everywhere. I've done every kind of virtual audition. I have done essentially everything, and most virtual auditions are going to kind of be similar. They're going to want to see typically some type of movement piece and then a flag piece, and then whether you choose to show a weapon piece is going to kind of be, it'll be up to you and kind of your preference. I know some places, the place that I auditioned for in person for drum corps, for all age drum corps, again for the third year being with them, hopefully this year, they have videos. They've always had a video for you to present in front of them if you are doing a virtual audition. Not sure if I'm gonna submit an additional audition yet, but one of my main kind of tips is, if there's any sort of videos, study those pretty hard and look and see little, I want to say little ticks, but like little things, like technique things that you kind of notice that either everybody else is doing, whoever it is, the instructor that's there performing the piece, whatever. Look and kind of see what they're doing and start adding some of that in a little bit to your own technique. Whether you notice that they're kind of up for everything, or when they do some certain moves, they maybe tilt, lean, move, their arm goes this way instead, they're here on whatever piece of equipment instead of here. I always try to look out for that. See, another thing too, not to say be a stalker, but I always do this everywhere I go. I look to see if I know who the techs are. If I know who the caption it is, who the instructors are, who the techs are, and I will go look them up. I will see, okay, what groups are they for? What groups do they work for? What groups have they worked with? What are they doing? Try to look up and find other works of them, because then you're going to kind of know a slight basis of what they do. Then you can look and see, okay, this is typically how, for this, that, and the third, how they're all tossing their rifle. So then you can kind of self-adjust yourself. It may not always be the same. You're probably not always going to have the same technique that they do, and they're probably not always going to bring that same technique to every group. But in the case that they do, you will be super prepared. I also try to keep in mind and look out to, during your auditions and stuff like that, for not even just like the piece as a whole, but for certain moves. I know over the past 2 years that I have done All Age so far, the last tech that we had, we do not have him again this year, but the last tech that we had he had little isms. So we would say his name and then little isms. He had certain moves and certain things that we always knew were going to be added in a certain type of variation. So I always try to do that. Another good thing too is you're watching the video, you're getting the choreo, whatever, they're asking you to do certain things. I always try to go above and below. So there are certain moves, certain things that I've learned and stuff like that from some of my techs this year and stuff like that. I always try to go above and below. So that means whatever they're teaching it to you as, whether it's a single, double, single and a half, I always try to make sure that I have it going from a half all the way up to a double and a half or a triple. So say it's a single out of the hand, I always make sure I have a half, single, 1.5, double, triple. Triple is usually my max for a lot of skills, but for certain things, I always just try to make sure that I have some type of variation in my knowledge and kind of in my wheelhouse for it, just in case if during the season, whatever, they need to add something in, or they're going to add something in and they're like, okay, I want you to do triple into this backhand and then do palm roll, double, whatever, then you already know how to do it. And then for virtual auditions as well, show everything. You may say, oh, because like for me personally, when I did my virtual audition, I did flag, rifle, and saber. When I auditioned for World Class for Drum Corps, I was not initially going to put saber on there because I'm self-taught. I don't know anything other than a lofty triple on blade and a 5 or 6 regular. But I always say put everything on there, even if you have like the weirdest, funkiest skill. Like I can do clown shoes. So if you don't know what that is, go look it up. One of my favorite skills. I will put that on just about everything that I do. I can do cartwheels to a front handspring, to a front handspring, laying, leg out, whatever. I always make sure to put everything on because you never know what they're gonna be looking for and what they are going to want. Maybe they want somebody who has a little bit more acrobatic skills, or their work is gonna have some more kind of gymnastic-y type dancier skills. or maybe they want to go for a full saber line this year and they want to make sure that everybody is at least comfortable with saber so that they can kind of work you up and maybe help you a little bit with some of the saber work, or they could bring the saber work down to meet everyone's level so they know like a base level of everything. So I always say audition for everything, even if you don't make it. It's perfectly fine if you don't make saber, but if you audition for it, you're at least telling them, hey, look, I at least know what this is and I know how to spin it, so with time, like, I can get better as well. Yeah, so audition for everything, and then make sure you obviously have your highlighted parts. You don't need to make everything the same exact length. I ended up, I think, in my audition making everything about the same exact length, but I would choose your top 1 or 2 things that you're super good at and show those off the most. Sorry guys, I'm dying. So for me personally, my top 2 skills right now are going to be flag and rifle. So my next virtual audition that I will be doing, which will probably be coming up maybe super quickly, potentially, I may be doing a virtual audition for somewhere. I'm going to make sure that my longer sections are going to be flag and rifle to show off that I know those are the best. I'm still going to include movement, dance, and then saber as well, just in case if I am pulled in that direction, if show theme wise they need that, I can do it. But yeah, that's kind of it for like a virtual audition, is kind of just show everything and show what you can. So let's go to an in-person audition. Okay, we're back to in-person auditions. I just did an in-person audition. I always prefer an in-person audition to a virtual audition, only because with a virtual audition, with any sort of virtual audition that you put in, you have your own timeline, not your own timeline, your own time frame really, but you have as much time as you can put aside to work on the skills, to get stuff done, just show that you know how to like do the work and can do what they're asking. Whereas in person, it's not going to be the same case, and I always prefer in person because then I can show the people like, hey, look, I don't know how to do these skills, and I'm not gonna know how to do these skills right off the bat, but I can show the progression from when you first taught this to me at the beginning of the day to the end of the day when we're now recording and going over this and doing final looks and stuff like that, that, hey, look, it's 1, a lot better, and 2, it's gonna take me time, but I am slowly getting it. So that's one of the things. So the first thing, too, is since you are in person, you can really observe your text and your caption. Sorry. Your text and your caption head. Caption head? Yeah. And like your teachers and whatever instructors, you can really observe them. So I took a lot of time, especially when we got a lot of breaks. I was spending a lot of my breaks continuing to practice and to go over moves to show that like, hey, look, I'm still not getting this down, but I'm taking the time to make sure that I do eventually get it down. But I would watch them. I watched a lot of the rifle and then of the saber tech as well to kind of see, okay, what are like their isms? What are they doing? How are they doing this? How are they doing that? What are they doing? Stuff like that. And then to kind of go based off of the song tempo too. So as we started learning it, I realized that like, okay, a lot of like this rifle stuff is going to be kind of a bit more faster. It's going to be a lot cleaner, sharper. It's going to be bam, bam, bam right there. That's not me. I need to take things a little bit slower. So I knew that I was going to have to work a little bit harder. And then when we got to saber, it seemed a little bit easier for me because it was at a slower tempo. But I always say, go into the audition, do what you can, show everything. I went into the audition with dance, flag, rifle, and saber. I did all 4. I didn't end up leaving rifle and saber to go to the other flag piece, the other dance piece. I ended up kind of sticking with it to show that, like, look, I really do kind of want a weapon piece, and I know, like, a weapon piece, a weapon spot, and I know that I can work towards it if you give me time. So I always try for that. I try to work and show, like, hey, look, I really want this spot. I really want to be here. I may not get it right now, but I will get it. And then the biggest thing is going to be showing improvement. I didn't get everything when it first started. I definitely didn't get everything when it first ended, like when we were done with auditions. But I made sure to show progress from me completely not getting a skill to me basically trying it out, testing it, working with the time that I had, and working. Okay, so like I said, working hard to make sure that they can see your progression and that you want to be there and that you're actually working hard towards it. Because there's definitely going to be a bunch of people. There's always definitely a handful of people at the audition who first or second try, once they do the move, like once or twice or a few times, they're going to absolutely get it. They're going to know what it is. They're going to understand it. They're going to get it, and it's going to look super clean from them. And yes, of course, the instructors are going to see that and be like, oh, wow, like they're really getting it. It's kind of easy for them. But as an instructor myself, partially, we're also kind of looking for people who are showing a lot of improvement, who are showing hard work. We're not always going to pick somebody who's the best at a skill just because they can do it. We also are kind of looking, in a sense, in the direction at somebody like myself who is not always going to get the skill first try, but who will work towards it and stuff like that, and will get it eventually with our hard work and is showing hard work. So that's another thing as well. Another thing too is don't always try to show off in these in-person auditions. There's going to be moments to do that. You do not need to do that all the time. Now, at this audition, I tried not to do too much of that. I tried not to really like show off too much and show everything that I could do and stuff like that, and a lot of the different underbodies and stuff that I could do under tosses. Unless it was specifically asked for. There's definitely going to be some moments and stuff, and some fixing the camera. Sometimes, and some certain slots, there were some slots, I will say, definitely in our flag pieces that we learned, where it was choose your own adventure, so we got to choose whatever underbody we wanted. I just chose one that I thought would kind of pair super well. I ended up actually teaching one of the guys next to me like what it was, how to do it, and we ended up doing it together for the final piece. Love that. But yeah, you just want to essentially be a sponge. In person, you can be a lot more of a sponge and absorb things than you can for a virtual audition. Now, you obviously can't go to every in-person audition. I couldn't go to every in-person audition that I wanted to. So, of course, I'm always open to submitting virtual auditions, but I think in person, they're really going to see you as a person, how you act around other people, how, like, friendly you are, inviting, your overall, like, aura and spirit, and a lot of kind of, stuff like that, and they're gonna get to know you, there goes my cats, a little bit better as just a person in general. So I think that that's it. And they're also gonna see a lot more of how your mind works in person versus online. Whereas like online, like I said, you have all the time in the world that you can come up with before the deadline to perfect a skill and work on it and get it to look really good. Like I had a lot of time when I did my first virtual audition for All Age Drum Corps to make sure that the piece looked really good and that it was really good. But that's not to say that, like, by the time I came back for that April callback, that it was the same thing. They saw me and they're like, oh my god, they're really good. And then they saw, like, my indoor show too, and they're like, oh my god, they're really good. And then come to, like, meeting me in person and seeing me at trials. Not to say that it wasn't the same thing, but, like, they could see, like, okay, we're definitely gonna need more reps, we're gonna need more time, which it's fine. It's fine to ask for more reps. It's always good to ask questions as well, even for a virtual audition, because I know there's been a few virtual auditions where they'll, like, specify something, like, an email or something, where you can, like, email with questions. I always ask questions. I always ask, okay, is it gonna really matter, like, where I'm doing this, where I'm tossing this at, where I'm doing this from? Should I start swapping and adjusting and stuff like that? And I always try to ask that. And then, always too, like, in person, I don't want to say I try to, like, challenge the coaches, but I always try to make sure and ask, okay, what is our other hand doing? What is our other leg doing? Like, what are we doing here? How many steps are we taking into that? Like, to know all the specific nitty-gritty details that they may not know themselves because they didn't probably plan it that far, but I always try to ask for myself, because the more specific that I can get with a move or something, where are we rotating, where's it coming out at, is what's gonna not only help me but help everybody else as well. So yeah, that's gonna be some of my tips and tricks for auditions. So let's maybe get into an outro, or actually I think I have some knitting progress to show you guys. I think I have some knitting progress, so let's get into that. Okay guys, we're out in the living room because I've been kind of, I don't want to say I've been hibernating in that chair, but I come out here because my room's a mess, and it's a lot easier just to, like, sit up in a chair and kind of rest. But here's my Sophie Hood scarf. I haven't touched it in a while. I stated this in my last Whip Wednesday because, as you know, I'm kind of sick, so I don't want to, like, work on Christmas gifts while I'm sick. And since I'm sitting here, I want to show you guys the progress on my moth sweater. I have been working on this moth sweater. It's probably actually almost, I don't want to say almost been a month, but it's coming up close. I don't spend all of my time knitting. Like, I don't have hours on end knitting because I work. But it's inside out right now. This is it. This is sheet, bottom up, and it's gonna be color work. This is actually what it's gonna look like. I don't know how to do ribbing. Not that I don't know how to do ribbing, my ribbing is actually pretty bad. I don't know how I get off every single time. Every single time when I'm doing ribbing, but I do. But yeah, I'm currently on row 12 from, like, right here. Out of, I think I have to do 65 before I actually hit the color work. So yeah, there's that. It's out on one of these glorious Karen cloud cakes. Love that. But yeah, let's get into an outro, guys. Okay guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a different video, but since I want to start posting some more guard content, especially over here on YouTube, because I'm posting to TikTok and Instagram a lot of my choreo, I want to post, like, some more, like, tutorials of different tosses and underbodies and warm-ups and other things, and maybe, like, I can teach, like, a little choreo piece and then like write counts to it, and like, here's this super easy choreo piece to add into your next solo, whatever. I want to start experimenting with that. It's obviously it's like a week away from Thanksgiving, exactly to this day today, just about. So yeah, it's probably about to start dumping 12 inches of snow, so I don't know when I'm gonna start posting. If I'm gonna start posting, I may not start until next year. We'll see. I may also stockpile some things and maybe try to post a few times, but I'm gonna try to keep it all over here to YouTube as well. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any sort of questions, color guard questions, if you have any other type of audition questions, or you want some like recs or whatever for different drum corps that I would recommend you go to and try out for, I can definitely try to give you that as well. Also, comment down below, what do you guys want to see for the next video when I'm not dead and I can actually like get up and fully film a video? Do you want some more art? Do you want some knitting content? Do you want more fashion content? Do you sewing? Do you want me to just film me doing some DPs? Like, let me know down below what you guys want to see. Also, check down below, link in the description. That's a pretty cool place. That's gonna be where my Instagrams are. TikTok is gonna be the same name here on YouTube now. Swap that over, so now we're the same. And I'm gonna go sit here and knit and rest up. So I hope you guys had a good day, good week, good month, and good